help us figure out who's got the question and hand the mic to them, and we can do our best to answer.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. We can start with media first. We'll just get the media questions out the way, and then we'll go into more of the fan base and the support. So any media questions? Anyone? Any media?
Those media badges, where did you guys go?
Anybody with a media badge that might have a pertinent question? All right, well, we'll get back to them. All right, we're going to go over to the fans, the followers, the people who keep this game alive. It is going to continue to keep it alive. So does anyone here have any questions? You have a question? Okay, yeah, no problem. What's your name? Where you from?
I'm Mike McCullough. You guys combined like the universe of Star Wars, the expanded universe, into this giant new world. Was it hard combining like the stuff that was in the movies with the stuff that was never even touched upon, and just talk a bit about that?
It's certainly not hard. I mean, it's fun, right? Is you have such a strong source of things to draw upon and build upon, and it's really in many ways is for somebody creative. It's like a life opportunity to be able to add to you see your stuff show up on the Wikipedia and stuff like that. That's pretty amazing. So it is I wouldn't say it's hard. It's one of the most rewarding things that an artist could do.
You did a great job.
Another thing to add is it's going to be a time for people that aren't maybe that familiar with the extended universe and all the cool stuff there to see it for the first time and really learn a lot about it. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like almost a university course in Star Wars. I think you will give a degree at the end of it if you can finish the game with every character level 50. So that's that. Maybe not. We'll see if we can pull that.
Well, one of the neat things is if you have favorite characters, worlds from Knights of the Old Republic or the movies, we allow you to see a side of them that hasn't been explored before or exposed before in a lot of other Star Wars materials. So, kudos to our great partners at Lucasfilm, LucasArts for allowing us, enabling us, and permitting us to be able to be participants in making such a grand adventure. I mean, I can't say enough about the great folks at LucasArts, Lucasfilm. They're here actually. We have some folks from there, and kudos. Those guys are awesome. So, a block there, folks. Friends at Lucas.
All right, we have a question here from Andrew, New York City.
Hi guys, I just want to say thank you first off for taking this, endeavor. But my question goes more along the lines of, I've already been in, the beta, and then I've started playing it on the pre-release. And it goes towards weapons. And everybody likes to play the game due to weapons. But lightsabers are the Jedi's, weapon, obviously. Or the Sith, absolutely. But my question goes to designing kind of the progression and thoughts of what are you going to do? I mean, you can make a bigger gun, a better looking, different gun, but how are you going to make that lightsaber look different from now till, later on, so that it's not just like a hilt, it's more. What are you going to do about that?
Right, so the lightsabers are a big one because they're so iconic right now that it's really hard to, we don't want to change the lightsaber. The lightsaber is the lightsaber, so we've got different directions we can go with the hilts, and we've already done that with the Old Republic, as you see. Some of the original hilts have the wooden handle with the engraved metals and things, and we were trying to take it in a slightly more handcrafted, fancy direction. Then we would kind of borrow from the Star Wars 4, 5, 6 a bit more. But we've been playing around with different ideas to take the lightsabers to another level, and yet still keep it in the pure lightsaber genre, and that's using certain particles and things near the hilts and bases to kind of make them a little bit more fancy and a little bit more akin to when you see Luke Skywalker hold up his lightsaber in the movie poster. You see the flare. It's still very iconic, but we haven't necessarily gone there yet. So we're kicking around ideas right now on how to push the lightsaber, yet not push it so far that it comes off as, something other than you'd see in Star Wars. So we're taking this stuff, believe it or not, we have a lot of fun developing this game, but we take a lot of stuff very seriously because we know people are really into this IP. So we're taking our time, we're hopefully going to do it right, and you'll see how we update those things.
Great, thank you.
One of the things that really impressed me in the early days of the project, looking at the beautiful concept art from these guys, basically, was the thoughtfulness, as Arnie said. Thinking about the timeline of the rich history, prehistory of the Star Wars universe. Space travel has been around for about 20,000 years in this timeline, so you're going to have a lot of things that are kind of common and spread around. But this game is set 3,000 years before the movies, roughly, a little more. So there's also a feeling of a little bit older style that it's a little bit different, familiar and yet different at the same time. So I think they've really nailed it.
Okay, we have a question over here. You can't see me. I'm over here with Eric from New York.
Hi, I have a question about guild banks and guild capital ships or bases. Are we going to get that in the future?
Absolutely. I think if you check online, there's this online blog on the community site where James Olin, the game director, talks a bit about that. So one of the main things we're going to be working on is expanding some of the guild features. And then, as you said, there's the elusive capital ships would be pretty cool. Also, guild banks are very important, as well as the usual guild leveling and that kind of stuff. Another thing for the more sort of core player, we're also talking about UI modifications and all that. And Ray mentioned, of course, combat logs. Those are coming pretty soon. The combat logs, just you can track all your status very close. So lots of stuff still going. I mean, we were just getting started with the game. Just getting it out is the first step. And then as we continue to develop it over time, we'll be listening to the fans, of course, and adding things, adding new dimensions, and adding things that people really want to make the game even more rewarding for them. Cool.
All right. We have another question from Drake from New York.
Hi. Drizzy. I was wondering, I play a bounty hunter in the game right now, and I'm noticing that I don't have that many opportunities to tap that ass in the game. I've actually only been able to tap that ass once, and I'd like more opportunities to do that. So would you be adding more options to that?
I'm not sure who's going to answer that question. Which among us? I think the answer actually, believe it or not, is yes. I mean, in the sense that, and not just for you, but for a wide range of folks. I mean, it's one of the things that, it's funny in Bioware games, but that's something that, I'll use the phrase romance. It's a little different. I'll use the phrase romance. The opportunity for romance is significant in our games, and that's actually something we're going to be adding more as we go on. Like, that's actually pretty important to us. So, yes.
You're romantic.
All right. Next question is
romantic,
from.
all of us.
All right. Next question is from Joe from San Francisco.
Yeah, you personally, what's your favorite class, race, and play style?
What's my favorite race class and playstyle? Mine would be the bounty hunter. I've been playing them since early in beta, and I think they're just the most fun because all their different weapons and attacks, and they're kind of they got 1,001 different things that they can pull out of their pocket. So that would be mine. Probably Bunum.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, it varies all the time. I guess the last one I made was a Sith Pureblood Marauder. That was a lot of fun. And so, like, it depends, the mood, the game. I mean, we actually, when we were testing the game, we had to restart over and over and over again because we couldn't keep our characters. So we all remember, like, dozens of characters in the past, so that was the one that struck with me. I called him Sith Bieber because he had this awesome Bieber haircut and like, big rings in his face, but that was different, but he was kind of serious.
That's awesome. So my favorites are probably some of the healers. This actually really surprised me, but I really love playing healers. I love playing the diverse range of abilities. So my last few characters have been like a Jedi Consular, a Sage, a Sith Inquisitor Sorcerer, and most recently, before the game launched, I was playing an agent as an operative. And each one, I was trying different skills. I kind of respec them a few times, but put all the points in the healing trees, and I really enjoyed it. It was like you always felt like you had a great purpose, and you could do a lot of other cool stuff too, like CC and a lot of the damaging abilities as well. And if you're Sith or Jedi, you have a lightsaber too, which is kind of neat. So, but frankly, all the classes I've played have been fantastic.
All right. Next question is Pedro from New York.
I would just say probably my favorite character of mine through beta was probably I had a chubby Twi'lek Sith Inquisitor that was dot DPS type, but over the last couple of builds I started playing tanks, and I've kind of fallen in love with tank because it's just always great when you show up in a group and everyone's happy to see you, and it's like, okay, we can go now, the tank's here. So I've kind of gotten addicted to playing tanks. So now I got a trooper now is what I'm playing. So
I thought you played a Sith Auctioneer.
And the auction houses, basically, yes. So.
All right, next question, Pedro, New York.
I want to know what made you pursue gaming instead of medicine?
Because we love video games, basically. The question was why do we pursue medicine rather than, why do we pursue gaming rather than medicine? And I personally like medicine a lot, but I love video games. It's just that simple. I love working with the people who make them. I love our fans. I love playing them. So that's why.
Hey, are there any more questions? Anyone?
Questions over here.
All right, I'll go over there a second. All right, what's your name?
Hi, Bree. Hi, pleasure to meet you, and thank you for coming. Okay, a side question. You're bi? because you have both Empire and Republic.
Yes. Well, that's the standard logo. Actually, as you recall, the logo on the desktop is the combined logo. So that's the thing that we all relate to, and you can play either side of the game, obviously on the same account. So
Play both.
Just like Revan.
just like Revan, apparently. There you go. That's what he said. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Wanted to ask about costumes and the designs and how that works and what you plan on be doing if you're going to have like tier armors or something like that. I know that's a World of Warcraft. I apologize for using the analogy.
Yeah, I'll take this. I mean, it is like, which one are you saying before? I think it was Greg. I mean, we're doing a lot of stuff for after we launch, right? Is we're going to continue to support the game, and we're continuing to make new gear for players and that sort of thing. So yeah, is we have a plan where we're going to continue to roll out new stuff over time. So over a very regular cadence, actually, a very aggressive cadence for those of us in the art department. Okay.
All right,
I will not argue.
Next question, Damien from New Jersey.
Guys, you've put into a place a great placeholder called the legacy system, which has a lot of potential to work with. Could you possibly share some of the ideas, not so much what would be implemented, but ideas that you have that may or may not come into the legacy system?
Yeah, we can touch really quickly on the legacy system. Obviously, can't go into a lot of detail on it, but just at a high level. I mean, obviously, something happens. You know, when you get your legacy, you name your character. I mean, the philosophy, you know, that we have for the legacy system at a high level is to like create that sort of Star Wars family. Like if you think of the episodes 1 through 6, it's actually essentially the legacy of the Skywalkers. It goes through that entire legacy, and there's all kinds of people in different positions, different roles, and that's actually one of the main things we look at as the legacy over time is how we actually encourage players to, you know, there's a traditional concept of alts, but it's to take that to a whole new level. That's actually a big part of the game is actually having different characters, and there may be possibilities of things passing between them. You know, who knows what's going to happen if you have a sense progeny. You know, what could occur? But that's actually, you know, ultimately our vision for the legacy system. Obviously, things we have to work out, but that's another one of those systems that we're being very aggressive with and want to get that, you know, into practice very soon.
All right, Justin from New York.
Hey guys. So my first question about Tor is it's pretty much about servers. I know my server right now, Jungma, is already has about like a 40 minute queue time. And Stephen Reed tweeted that server pop is going to be increased. I was wondering if that's going to be a gradual thing, or is it going to be like a one-time thing? Server pop going to be increased, and then that's going to be it.
So yeah, I think one thing we've been doing actually is managing the server populations very aggressively, and you know the queues themselves are something that obviously you'd rather not have, but you in a sense need them to ensure that you're getting people distributed evenly across the whole system. Otherwise, people will kind of pile up on one server. The other thing we do is that we're always watching. We know basically what the upper limit is of what you can have on a server, and we're kind of dialing that up over time and making sure that, you know, it's pretty subtle. Like you'll see something tonight, for example, when the clocks flip over and you guys get back on it at 12:05, let's say, there'll be a whole bunch more servers, like lots more. And then also, what's going to be happening as well at that time is, you know, we're going to be gradually increasing those server loads. We didn't want to like go right to 11, so to speak, right when we started. We want to kind of build that up over time. So, you know, you're going to see some changes in the next day or so how that's all working. There's probably still going to be queues. I mean, the reality, I mean, this is the harsh reality, is that there's a lot of people that want to play this. There's like lots of people playing right now. You know, everyone, not just everyone here, but everyone all over the world. And you know, over time, that's going to totally ease off. We're also going to be able to add more people onto the servers, and people play a little differently after the first week. So all these things will kind of even that out. You know, hard to say how long it's going to last for, but it's something we take super seriously. We're continually managing it, and we literally have folks watching it 24/7 to make sure we're trying to get as many people in all the time. And it's sort of a short-term thing to make sure long-term, you know, a year from now when you're still playing, your server never feels empty. That's the most important thing we're trying to protect against, is that you don't have a situation where people play a little less and all of a sudden half the servers in the game feel like there's ghost towns. So that's actually the fundamental thing. Trust us, we're working on it. We trust you. We really appreciate your patience in it. I mean, obviously folks don't want to line up for it, but hey, it's worth it when you get in, but still. The other thing we found, just another side thing, is people playing really long times. like their actual sessions are super, super, super long. And so that's actually one of the other things that's happening. It's like sort of the passion for the game is